Hi there, I'm Tyler Pollard, and you're watching Timeline on Plus1TV.com. I'm here talking to Israel Nebaker and Ryan Dabrowski of the band Blind Pilot. They're from Portland, Oregon.
I know I wake up, oh, getting which box this is, how I will keep you, just how I left you.
They're going to be picking up on the December's tour pretty soon and doing a little time in Europe.
Yep.
And they're out there doing it. Today we're going to talk to you guys about your individual timelines, so if you can, walk me through how music entered your lives.
We're starting like way back when.
Hey, whatever pops in.
All right, yeah. I mean, I think maybe what really got me hooked on music was this Talking Heads tape that my parents had, and we would take a lot of road trips together, and I would make them play "Burning Down the House" over and over again, and then I got into Paul Simon shortly after that. But those are probably the two, like, I don't know,
Founding fathers
of my music. In fact, a family friend just sent me a little like home video recently of me like stealing pencils from the game of Pictionary to drum on everything in sight, and it was because I was like 4 years old. It was pretty cute. So that's kind of it for me.
That's
and
an
that's how
interesting
Blind
start.
Pilot started.
That's all right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. My parents were slightly less hip than yours, but they were hip enough. They listened to a lot of Bob Dylan and the Beatles and Woody Guthrie, and so that I don't know. I think that was my biggest childhood influences, but I somehow quickly got into Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre as soon as I was old enough to buy CDs.
Sure.
And that lasted until my dad took me to a Grateful Dead concert.
Really?
Yeah, and then I quickly got into like Led Zeppelin and all that good stuff, and long hair in middle school, and it was great for a while.
Did you play guitar earlier growing up, or did it switch with the Grateful Dead?
It switched. Yeah, it switched. I begged my parents to give me piano lessons pretty early, like 6 or 7, but then switched to guitar later on.
And how about you? Did you go to drums first?
Yeah, I started on drums. I think the first set of drums was like the Rototoms, those 3 drums, and then I got those for like my 8th birthday, I think, and then I got my first drum set on my 10th birthday, which was quite a treat.
Quite a treat.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah, everyone involved, yeah.
How about some first albums? Was that when you started buying records too, or did that happen before that?
Yeah, well, my first albums were, I think it went Eric Clapton Unplugged, and then somehow to Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, and Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
Right.
And then Beck Mellow Gold, that was probably the first album that I listened to like for hundreds of times.
How about you? What was the first?
I think the first album I bought was Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses.
A powerful
Classic,
start.
yes.
Yeah. And important for a drummer.
Yeah.
So when do you guys meet up and start playing together?
We met going to school at University of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And
had you been in bands prior to that, meeting each other?
I was in a band in high school, and they were all, my bandmates were all older than me, and they went to that school, to University of Oregon. They met him. So then I followed my band, and he was playing with them, and he kind of took me aside and was like, I think we got something here, but I don't know about these other guys.
Yeah,
so, but they're pretty great, and they're still doing music. But yeah, we kind of played off and on, and
you boiled it down and stuck as a duo for a while,
yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And that's a really slick move because you can operate pretty quick pace, get songs up and running. Was that probably the?
Yeah, I mean it's just it was easy. We knew that we got along and we wanted to sort of make the same music and we had played together before, but then when we decided to start Blind Pilot, it was just there was the two of us, and it wasn't necessarily about growing into a gigantic band or going for fame or anything. We wanted to make a little album of songs and then take that on a little bike tour down the West Coast.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, and that was sort of the goal, and beyond that, there weren't great expectations. I mean, of course, we love music and we wanted to continue doing it, but for this project, it was actually really just very direct.
And I want to stop and clarify a little bit about that. You guys took a 2-man bike tour for your EP launch
Yes.
and release,
Uh-huh.
and literally pedaled bikes from town to town with your instruments and trailers. I mean, did you bring a drum kit?
Yeah,
I
I had a small drum kit, and then Israel had his guitar, and we had our camping gear and clothes and a box of CDs.
A lot of camping, a lot of traveling. Were you eating enough? I was thinking about that.
You
I mean,
eat a ton.
You doing all right with that?
Everyone thinks it's got to be a lot cheaper because you save on gas, but you eat probably three times
spend
as
as
much
on the food to keep it going. And that's quite a commitment to the music and.
But buying food's a lot more fun than buying gas for sure.
Yeah, you can have a lot more options
Yeah.
and enjoy yourself more.
For sure.
Was there a collective mission statement for the type of music, or is it just song-based when you guys developed your first material?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I think it happened pretty organically. You know, it's like things would just happen because of the way, I would play drums and Israel plays guitar and sings, and the songs that were
It's just what's happening with your combo.
Yeah.
And to point out the obvious, it is difficult to, bring out a label or some kind of, point of reference when describing what you guys are doing. Because I think a lot of people are latching on to a folk element that you brought in, which, it bubbled underneath on the recording. But I don't see it as a folk band at all.
It's really, I mean, I think the folk element gets attached because we use pretty much all acoustic instruments, but I don't think folk is what we're necessarily going after when we started it. I mean, the acoustic guitar is good because you can play on a street corner and people can hear it without an amp.
Right.
And that's sort of why I started playing with brushes, and that's kind of how the sound formed a little bit, was to be able to play on a street corner, people be able to hear it.
Bring it right out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what would you categorize your songs as? Would you say they're pop songs? Are they story songs? Or
I'd say some of them are pop songs. Some of them are story songs.
Yeah, some of them have stories in there.
Yeah,
I kind of set myself up for that one. You're welcome.
Yeah, you bet. No, I think they're just pretty simple, straightforward structures, and the whatever is intriguing or interesting about them is usually just in the content and melody. So
now, how do you see having a more stable band come into play? Are you going to explore that as a group from here on in, do you think? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we played for a couple years, the two of us, as Blind Pilot, and then with this last album we brought in a few other musicians, and it's been great. They're all really great people, and we get along really well, and they're awesome musicians. So I think that the people that we'll play with tonight, they're here to stay. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Once you teeter over that edge, you had an advantage of being able to make your decisions ahead of time, and then bring people in to kind of add the essential flourishes. But then, if you make the decision to kind of explore collectively how to get a new evolvement of your music going, that's it's dangerous. You're giving up on a lot, but you have to embrace the potential.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess that's brave.
Sure. Yeah, but the live show is great, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, and there's still times when the two of us will just play as the two of us, not necessarily in front of anybody. But as far as what we're going to be putting out there. I think the people that we're playing with tonight, like you said, are probably going to be around for
Bringing
a
out
long while,
the new
and
ideas.
hopefully forever. Yeah.
How about what's been being played in the van? What have you guys been listening to as a group, or do you all just hide in your
It's
iPods?
a big hip hop day today.
It's a hip hop day?
90s hip hop day. Ian, our vibraphone player, was driving, and we were in Philly, and
It was sort of an unusual day. He was just like driving and like calling everybody asshole and like listening to hip hop.
so bad. He was just, so abrasive, and I don't know what got into him.
Yeah, who? Let's name names. Who are some of these people that brought out the demon in young Ian?
Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
Was one. I mean, which isn't very violent at all.
No, but
or
you tend to
anything.
want to fill in the blanks when they're like,
Yeah,
dubbing
totally.
out the swear parts that he swore, but
Yeah.
he cut them all out.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Bothered to write them, say them. Well, I was going to ask. I guess I should ask Ryan because maybe you could tell us who your first concert was.
My first concert was this. I don't know if they're a band at all, but their name was Zazu Pits, and it was fantastic. It was world music. And
World music.
Yeah, they had like four drummers and a bunch of people dancing, and that was kind of my thing. It was as close to a Paul Simon concert as I could get at the time. It was like at a county fair, I think, something like that.
Good, and you had the potential to win a prize.
Yeah,
so
it was fantastic. Got a bumper sticker. It's pink with yellow letters.
How about real act? Like, no offense to the world music folks, but like, what was the one that you really looked forward to going to? Put your money down.
Oh man, I don't remember what the might have been. I mean, one of the concert. It was later in life, but Radiohead at the Gorge was one of the concerts that I had most looked forward to.
That's a good
Sort
one.
of turned out to be a bust because the crowd was crazy and people were getting crushed and stuff, which is
You never want to see that.
as good as the band was. Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant scene in the crowd, really.
And how about you, Israel?
The first concert that I went to was Grateful Dead when my dad took me in middle school, and it's sort of I don't know.
It's something to see.
It somehow worked its magic on me. I was like really, really not into the music at all, but the scene I could kind of get into, and by the end of it, I was accepting of the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
And then the music slowly seeped in. You're like, I
Yes.
can accept the music a little more because I had such a great day here.
Kind of, yeah, yeah.
I've been talking to Ryan and Israel from the band Blind Pilot. You've been watching Timeline on Plus1TV.com.